I'm gonna say it now. Is he passing Lelouch as one of the smartest MCs? Who
Oh,
knows?
passing Lelouch. Now, if you said smartest MCs, I would have gave it. Passing a man who planned a whole coup and gave a world peace. Get out. Get out. Get out. We can't see. I can't see your door and your camera, but I'm assuming it's closed. Get the fuck out.
Good morning and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ace.
And I'm your host, McMillian.
And we are back for another week of beautiful anime with episode 25. We are a quarter of a century away from episode 100. It almost feels like episode 1 was yesterday, McMillian. But as always, if you would like to become part of the council, become a member, then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. And with that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All righty. Good morning, good evening, everybody. Hope you guys had a good week. We are back for another week, episode 25. 25 episodes, McMillian, or at least regular episodes.
If you combine you combine our specials, I believe this would be 33.
Something episode like 33. That. But episode 25, how does it feel, sir?
Pretty good. I talk about anime as naturally as I breathe, so this is kind of another day in the life. But it is nice to know that we've made a quarter of 100 episodes already.
Correct. Yep, we hit that little milestone here today. So, as always, we're going to start off today's episode with some council announcements, with our first announcement being that our movie review of the Netflix anime Bubble is officially live right now. So go make sure you go check it out. It's all on your favorite audio platforms, as well as live on YouTube right now. So make sure you go and check it out.
Yep.
We broke it down into a non-spoiler and a spoiler review section. So for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, you will be able to watch the first half of it or listen to the first half of it, but the second half will be spoilers. So if you haven't, seen the movie, you of course, don't watch that second half unless you just don't care. So
some people don't care.
But yeah, our Bubble movie review is now live. Going on from there is going to be a Mob Psycho announcement on May the 12th. I'm not sure what announcement it will be. I do not recall, rather, if season 3 was announced or not. I think it was. But if season 3 was announced, then I'm probably sure we're going to be getting a release schedule for season 3. And if season 3 was not announced, then I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a season 3 announcement. But I think season 3 was announced, though. I just can't recall off the top of my head right now. Any thoughts on the announcement, Mob Psycho announcement?
It'll be interesting to see what it is. I'm pretty sure season 3, I believe, was confirmed. This could be like maybe a trailer or, like you said, like a release date, maybe. But I'm looking forward to it. Mob Psycho is a really good anime, and
it is
probably like one of my newer favorites. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see the story continue.
All right. So once again, there will be a Mob Psycho announcement on May the 12th. That's this upcoming week right now. So make sure to mark it in your calendars so you don't miss whatever news comes out for Mob Psycho. And then our last announcement we have here for today. The Inspector Season 2 anime has been postponed from October of this year, 2022, to January 2023. Me, myself, I have no idea what Inspector is, but our friend McMillian here has seen it, so I'm going to let him give the general plot of it for those who may be interested in knowing what it is.
This anime is a drug trip, I will say that. If you've seen... The only thing I can probably compare it to is this anime called Mushishi. I don't know. It basically, it focuses on these characters that delve into supernatural investigations while also having connects to the supernatural world themselves for reasons I can't get into because it would basically be spoilers. But if you're interested in the supernatural, I would give it a watch. It's not... Out of a 10, I'd probably give like season 1 maybe like a 7. Not bad. Definitely above average and enjoyable. But I don't know if it's not something I think you'd recommend to everybody. It tells a story. It's not very action packed, but it's more like intriguing. So that's the kind of stuff you're gonna get if you decide to watch.
Okay. All right. And then for our One Piece weekly rundown, real quick, episode 1016, that was last week's episode. It was nothing but a filler episode, so I'm not gonna go too deep into that. I have episode 1017 doesn't come on till later on tonight, so I cannot talk about that. But yeah, so episode 1016 was nothing really much but just a filler episode of the things that Sanji and Zoro was doing in their time in Wano. So there's that. But with that being said, that is the end of our council announcements. That is all the announcement we have for today.
Mhm.
We're gonna go ahead and start our episode, and we're going to start with Shield Hero, season 2, episode 5, Ost Horai. I'm gonna let McMillian start us off with our summary / major events here.
Yeah. So this episode was basically primarily focused a lot on Ost, as the title suggests. We basically follow back with Naofumi. Jesus Christ. And Naofumi and company basically hear that the Wave Heroes are there, and they're there to deal with the person who's apparently controlling the turtle.
You're correct about that.
Yeah, so we are now getting a confirmation that guy is from their world, and that he is apparently trying to control, I believe they called them
The Guardian Beast.
The Guardian Beast. I was about to, for a second, I was about to call them the Divine Beast, but I believe that's from a different series.
Which is interesting. But so before you go any further, this is the first, if not mistaken, this is the first mention that we got of Guardian Beast in this world. If I'm not mistaken, it could, it's been a minute since I've seen season 1, so I don't recall if they mentioned Guardian Beast in season 1 or not.
Yeah, and I don't think they referred to the turtle as a Guardian Beast at first. I believe they just called it the Spirit Tortoise.
Correct. So from that instance, that already lets me know that there's more Guardian Beast out there besides the tortoise that's out there. So, what do you think about that? Do you think we're going to see more Guardian Beasts in the future?
If we do, I'm not even going to say, do I think? I think it's a yes. But if we do, I hope it's written better than this season. Sorry for those who enjoy the season. It's not bad. It's just, in my opinion, it can be so much better.
It's definitely not living up to season 1.
Yeah, I think it's not a matter of when, but I think it's not a matter of if, but more so when.
Just when.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I just think if there are more, this cannot be the only time we see them. It seems like they're kind of important to the way the worlds
works.
Yeah, and that especially if there's a guy. Now, granted, he might be murdered by the end of this season or something. So if there's somebody who's out there like, I'm going to go awaken all of them, I feel like we're going to see more of them. But like I said, he could be killed off by the end of the season or something else. So who knows?
Yeah, correct.
But I think it's more so when, and it might not be in the same capacity that we're seeing the tortoise right now. It could be like finding the dormant ones and seeing, making
sure their seals and stuff are fine or something like that. Yeah. Well, I guess we don't even know if the other Guardian Beasts are technically, dormant or whatnot. We just know that the tortoise was supposed to be dormant, but there could be a totally different case for the other Guardian Beasts.
Yeah,
depending on what the hell their purpose is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just hope that the stakes attached to them are more interesting than what we have right now.
All right, well, I'll let you continue with the summary here.
Yeah, so moving from there, basically the two teams are not going to work together. They're going to work independently because it's like, hey, you're trying to... Now Fumi's like, to be point blank, I'm not going to work with anyone who's trying to kill me, regardless of anything.
And I feel him on that.
And I get that. Too many times do people be like, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And while that works sometimes, while that, like, you have to do that sometime. In this case, I don't think they had to. So I was like, okay, good on you now for me for setting a boundary of like, fuck y'all.
Hey, it's still fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, so moving on from there, each team goes and finds the heart of the, like, where they believe the heart of the tortoise to be. Turns out, though, that the Wave team was fighting multiple versions of the heart, and it seemed like those had been traps, while our team, A-Team, found the real heart And not only that, but the guy who was controlling the turtle, whose name is Kyo Ethnina, who revealed himself to be a vassal hero of the book weapon.
Which is interesting.
So far, all I'll say about this, I don't like this guy. He is a shit talker, and from what I know, I don't know if he can back it up yet, because he hasn't shown any attack skills. Legitimately, all we got to see from him this episode was the turtle's heart having defensive capabilities, and he was projecting himself. Which also I gotta ask, what did you feel about the self-protecting heart?
Before I get on the heart real quick, I want to say this real quick. I don't know what it is about the spring season with Tomodachi and Shihiro making the glasses guys be the bad guys, but I need y'all to cool out. All right, I need y'all to cool out with that. Out here making us look bad.
It's also true.
But as far as the heart, so okay, I was like, okay, cool. We finally made it to the heart. Old boy disappeared. And he was like, he said good luck when he disappeared. So when he said that, I'm thinking, maybe some minions finna pop up. I was like, okay, we're gonna take a few minions out there. We take the heart out. The fucking eye opens up on the heart, and I was like, excuse me?
What?
I was like, hold on. I was like, whoa. First of all, I was like, okay, I know this is anime. I know this is a magical beast here, but why the fuck can his heart defend itself? What is going on here? It was shooting out lasers. I was like, okay, I have seen it all officially.
I've seen
hearts that have eyes that shoots out lasers now.
I thought it was going to summon like flesh monsters or shit, but they was like, no, full on Cyclops beam eyeballs. You deal with this now. And what sucks, or personally, what I feel like sucks is, and this is another problem I feel like with the season, the heart was dealt with almost immediately.
Very quickly.
Almost immediately. Like, it just took one move from Philo, and then Raptalia followed up, and the heart was over with. Now, granted, apparently, unless you destroy the core, I guess, is what we later find out, that the turtle doesn't die, and maybe that's why it's so easy to fight. But still, it's the heart. And also, here's another thing. After the heart got destroyed, the turtle immediately started like regenerating its head and its heart at the same time. And like, would this not slow down? Wouldn't this slow down?
You would only assume that, okay, yes, if it was about to revive, but if his hearts get destroyed as it's about to revive, that would slow it down. But it looked like it sped the shit up, though.
Regardless, that, oh my god, it was so stupid. But moving forward, I should say, instead of regardless, after the heart is destroyed, Ost has a reaction, and it seems like this time, obviously we know now that we did not win, but it seemed like, oh shit, something's happening. Turns out that Ost has like this weird dream state thing. It was odd. I don't know what was going on, but she connects with this like crystal, and I'm like, oh, that must be a core. I was right. Because like I won't say 5 minutes later, after she comes out of her little dream state, they go
2 minutes later.
2 minutes? 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes later. After the dream thing, they're like, oh, Osa's like, follow me, there's more. And she like opens stairwell? We don't really even get to see what it is.
More like just a fat ass gaping hole.
Yeah, like a hole in the tortoise, and like jumps down, and they're like, and basically they see the crystal she saw in her dream, and Kyo standing there like, oh dang, you guys made it. Which, by the way, Kyo, why wouldn't they make it? You left the heart that barely has any defenses, regardless, there, and Kyo basically reveals to them like, oh, you guys must have figured it out. And it basically reveals that Ost is related or is the core of the spirit tortoise itself, and that if we had just killed her from the jump, this would have never happened in the first place.
If we basically did what she asked us to do when we first met her,
yeah,
we would not be going.
Be going through this at all, and I want to care. I want this to be. I really want this like reveal to be like shocking. But in my head, I never said that out loud, but I was suspecting like, you got to kill her to make this shit work anyway, because she showed up.
Yeah, that's what she said when she showed up. But then what also kind of alluded to it is like after they first cut off the head, she was like, "Oh, I'm still here.
Here,
Oh yeah, you got to go inside and kill the heart. You kill the heart. Oh my bad, I'm still
you're
here. You
here.
actually go. We got to go even deeper now." Like it was just she just kept getting her memories back again and again. It was like, well, I know how to kill the spirit tortoise. Oh no, wait, no, I'm sorry. Now I know how
No,
to kill the spirit
now I know how
tortoise.
to do it. And actually, in fact, now I know how to do it. And in fact, now I have a tattoo that you got to stab me through, and that's how you kill the tortoise. Convoluted.
Yeah.
It's very convoluted.
For no reason at all.
None at all. I just wanted like, and with the reveal, it wasn't that big of a payoff either. Like you don't, it's not as shocking. Even in the show, it didn't feel that shocking. Like when he said it, they were just standing there, and they, the animators or whatever, made this small clip of Naofumi and them with their like mouths open, like surprised. And I'm like, Naofumi, he said you knew. He said you figured it out. Why are y'all animating him to look like he's surprised? I don't.
I'm dead. But yeah, no, it's wild. But I feel like this conversation is heading into the dislike area
portion.
So
That was basically a dislike of mine. I'm sorry for starting it earlier, but that was basically a dislike.
So we're gonna go ahead and move over to our dislikes now. And as McMillian said, him being Naofumi acting surprised is one of his dislikes. Because no, I'm with you on that. Because like, why? But
he even said before he said that Kyo said that, oh, you and the green hair girl, which I'm assuming he was referring to Risha figured it out. And then they show a clip of Philo, him, and Raftalia being like shocked. I'm like, okay, he just said that you knew.
Correct. my main dislike is one, you already brought it up, but like the reveal did not feel shocking at all. At all. It did not feel shocking at all. I was like, oh, she's the core. Okay. Plot twist. Wow.
and plot twists, and I'll say this right now: plot twists do not necessarily always have to be a surprise. Like,
no, they don't.
You being a good audience person and watching the show and paying attention to the breadcrumbs that the author is leading, like writers leading you, it's not a bad thing. But it should have weight. At least.
Yeah, because like even when the plot twist, even though you're not surprised, you get that feeling like, yes, I was fucking right.
Right.
You know
yeah.
I mean?
And I didn't even feel that. It was like, oh, okay.
But then, I mean, other than that, my main thing is, so why does Horse not remember that? Not remember that she's the fucking core of the spirit tortoise?
So
like,
that one, I'll admit I don't necessarily have a dislike with that, but it's more of like they showed that as she goes through the spirit tortoise thing, she's getting more memory, and that's probably more of a question in my mind because I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm not angry with it yet because I feel like eventually they're going to tell me why that is.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then I'm gonna get mad because I have questions like why going through the tortoise is giving you your memory back, like right, and what made you lose the memory?
I guess technically it's because she was getting closer, as she's traveling, to the tortoise and through the tortoise, she's getting closer to the core. So I guess, with that being said, her memories are slowly starting to come back. Yeah, but still, what happened though? Did him taking over the tortoise make you lose your memories? Like, we know, what's going on?
Yeah, because we know that technically she's been off doing her job in other kingdoms, technically, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it was her being away from the actual tortoise body itself. Yeah. What caused
you to lose your memory? Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah,
but if that's the case, I'll take it. I don't know if I'll be happy about it, but
at least it's an explanation.
To me, that I'm like, okay, that would make sense. If it's just like, oh, he took over. If he took over and that corrupted it too, fine. Yeah. If it's just they don't even acknowledge it, then I got a problem.
We got a problem. No, I feel you on that 100%. Well, but that is all the dislikes that I had. Did you have any more?
No, you basically hit the other one I had, but that's about it.
Well, that sounds good to me. We're going to move on now to some of our favorite scenes from this episode, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have any. I guess if you count this as a favorite scene, the only thing for me that I took like a good portion out of this episode was the fact that we got the reveal of old boy being the vassal of the book hero, not the book hero, of the book weapon,
Mm-hmm.
vassal weapon. He was using that, so that lets you know right there we're going to start seeing some more vessel uses potentially, either later on in this
Mm-hmm.
season or later on in other seasons. So that's going to be kind of cool and kind of cool to see one what the hell the book vessel itself can do. We know it can cause illusions and stuff like that, but then
Oh, yeah.
two, what the hell the other vessel weapons and what can they do? So
Mm-hmm.
that's about all that I really took from this
Yeah,
episode.
that's something to look forward to. My one favorite scene, even though it was very predictable. Os, when she like realized basically that she was the core, I thought her reaction to that, like her in the dream world being like, "Oh, like with the tattoo," and then her realizing, "Oh, we got to go deeper because I now know what's under there." I thought that was at least serviceable. Like that one was like, I actually don't feel bad about the way they did that or portrayed it. So is that like a bad favorite scene? When the episode is like that, you ask yourself this question.
Oh, dang. Oh, so we're gonna rate this episode now, and I had 5, 6, 5-ish, 6-ish, something like that. I'm nothing more than a 6. Like nothing happened this episode. Like I thought nothing happened in the prior episodes, but nothing really happened this episode either. Like
I didn't. So
we walked through the turtle, slashed the heart. Os is the core. Like that's it. That was the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't even have a rating written down for this one. Not because it was bad. It was more of like maybe talking about it more will help me get where I want. So I'd have to agree. It's maybe 5.5 is probably like the what I could, because I could see someone arguing for a 6.
Yeah,
and I could see, but also like one thing I'd say it's probably like a strong 5. That maybe for me, that's where I land. Strong 5.
yeah.
Because it has things in it that I feel like should take it above average, but they don't work, or like the way they framed them doesn't like give them the up that they need.
Like the only way I could see people arguing for a 6 is like how they mentioned, we got the introduction of the the Guardian Beast basically, and then we're getting the introduction to more vassal users now and stuff like that. And then maybe the plot twist with Os being the core of the turtle. Okay, then those are some arguments you got for
one thing I can even say. 6, but yeah, one thing I can even say besides just that, if they were like, oh, the intrigue of heroes traveling to different worlds, like without being summoned there, like because for instance, I don't know how the wave heroes got there this time. There's no wave.
That part. The
vassal heroes also supposedly from whatever world they're from. How did you traverse here to the Spirit Tortoise?
That's a good question.
Was it a beast? And because one thing he does mention is that if he did the whole like taking over a beast in his world, it would have been much harder.
It would be a lot harder.
So I was like, "What?
Do you have a harder guardian beast over there? Like you got a fucking dragon or something, over there?
Or is
Talk to me.
Or is it that your heroes work together or something like that?
That part,
like,
yeah.
Because
our heroes do not.
He mentioned he was like the other 3 idiots, and I was like, oh well. I mean, he ain't wrong.
He's not wrong. Yeah.
So that's something interesting, and I hope we get more developed upon that after with this whole tortoise thing.
I'm glad you brought that up. So before we move on to the next anime, with that being said, the thing like how the fuck did he come over here? Do you think, with that being said, is it a possibility for Nofumi Game to go to other worlds now?
On some Kingdom Hearts shit? Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it. Because I'm pretty sure at some point, I mean, like Nofumi mentioned all throughout like the first season, after we stopped the wave, he wants to go back home. So that could be a storyline they move into. If possible, I just don't know how early or stuff. I would just like the idea to be explored, because the thing is, you've put these pieces in front of me that are from different worlds that travel here during, these times, and now they're here without it. How did that happen? How is this guy here?
Because then it was also alluded that when the wave ends, that they go back to the world.
Yeah.
So like, even if you snuck in during a wave, how are you still here when the waves are, not gone, stuff like that. Yeah.
So
I agree. No, 100%.
100%. It's just something I would hope for them to explore, moving forward. Like I would just like some type of, because that's to me, besides like the other the other Guardian beast. That's probably the most interesting thing I think that's come
Yeah,
out of this
that
season
came out of this episode. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
so far,
Yeah.
because it's not over. But
Unfortunately, it's not over yet.
yeah.
But all right, so that is the end of Shield Hero, everybody. Let us know what you think about episode 5 of Shield Hero down in the comments below. We're going to be moving on to our next anime for today. We're going to be doing Tomodachi Game episode 5, Juichi-kun, You're Pretty Dumb, Aren't You? So, we start off this episode. We're going to be say this because we're going to be, of course, starting off with our summary slash major events. So we start off this episode with our boy Tenji once again, twirling his thumbs and good.
Birdman hand rub, if you will.
The plan is
energy.
going together well. One thing he does mention at the beginning of this was that it's all setting up for his revenge to finally take place. Like he's going to get revenge on not Shiho. What's her name?
No, Shiho. Shiho's right.
That's her name. That is her name, Shiho. I don't know why. It's Shibe. That's the other guy name. Yeah.
Yeah, because he also
Shiho.
Had,
he's going to get his revenge on Shiho from whatever she did to him in the past. So I'm assuming, but do you think that his revenge is basically, I guess, her breaking his heart? I'm assuming that's what it is.
I don't know.
Unless it's something totally...
This show so far has proven to be very smart and intriguing. And I would really not... I mean, they're in high school, so I won't put it past, she broke my heart. I gotta get my revenge. I mean, he's a stalker anyway, so, that's not too far off base. But with how interesting the show has been setting up, I think it could be something more, but I'm not going to take that off the table.
Okay.
I will be upset if that is a thing, only because I'm just like, come on now.
Yeah, but not for you. Yeah.
It's understandable. It won't be too upset. It would just be like, dang it. I just thought it was something. I was hoping for something more,
I'm done. So, all right, well, so we continue from there. Tenji's talking about his revenge and stuff like that. But we actually get a little time skip finally, thankfully. And well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm skipping a little ahead. So before the time skip, Yuichi comes up with the plan. He has a plan to actually out the traitor. Mm-hmm. So for this plan, and I got it written down because it was kind of convoluted, right?
Well, before you get into it, I'll just say his plan does come up after Shibe tries to plead his innocence in this episode.
Yes.
And we find out that the game... and this is important because later on in the episode, I just want to get this out. We find out that the game cannot actually tell if something is 100% true or not unless unless someone can provide proof.
The evidence, yeah.
So they relied on the audience this time to do it, and he couldn't. They said what Ace said. He couldn't prove his innocence to them.
Basically, Yuichi's coming up with this plan. The plan was, since Shiho is in the lead, Shiho discovered that basically if they would have played the game normally how they was playing it to begin with, they would have just all went space by space. That by the time they got to the end of the board, that their amount of debt would actually balance back out to zero.
Yep.
And he figured that out because it's a game. The game has an audience, and the game has to be somewhat fair, so the game can be interesting for the viewers to watch back at home. So he was putting the pieces together in his head. So his plan was, the person who was in the lead, which is now Shiho, I think at this point, because it was actually Shibe, because he, the bad mouth from him killing somebody, put him in the lead. So it was actually Shibe who's in the lead now.
At least if he wasn't in the lead, he was right behind, I think, her.
Yeah. But basically, the person who is the lead will not badmouth themselves. They'll turn in a blank card. But everybody else, they will write everybody will write their name down on the card. But everybody who's not in the lead will badmouth themselves. So if somebody else got a badmouth card from somebody else, they will know who it was, and theoretically, already out the traitor like that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
well, hold on before you do the unfortunate part. I just want to ask: did you realize what the hole in his plan was before it was pointed out in the show?
No.
I'll say this. I didn't either until right before. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty smart. And I was like, wait, someone could just do the thing.
And that's why the rules of the game are important. They lay the rules out for you at the very beginning. And if viewers, even let you know, even the viewers should pay attention to these rules because they're very important, because there's plot holes in them. So basically, his plan did not work. because unfortunately there is a rule that says you can write as much bad mouth about anyone as you want, meaning they can turn in multiple
Multiple
cards
cards.
at one time.
Yeah. So
And that is exactly what happened.
yeah. So they were expecting 5, but they got 10.
10.
And
Yes.
then Tenji just to kill a hole. He was like, all right, Ryuichi, we played your damn game. It didn't work. Who is it? And he was like, I'm sorry, guys, I was just bluffing. And he was like, and Tenji used that. He was like, I'll seal the deal now. Then never listen to this smart bitch again.
So Tenji is once again a grade A fool, but so Tenji thinks he done got away with it, all is well. But so now we get to the time skip to where they continue to play the game, and now we get to the final round of the game. Finally, thankfully, it's about like 5 episodes now on game 2. But we get to the final round of the game, and our girl Shiho is at the final square. And and Yuichi comes up with another plan. And this time his plan is we cannot stop Shiho from reaching the goal, but we can find out who the traitor is and leave him behind in the game. Mm-hmm. So now his plan is for everybody to turn in a card that says I was the person who applied to play the Tomodachi game. And the reason why he did that was because if it turns out that you lie, you get a penalty to where you can move up spaces. But how the catch is, this will only be true for one person because he assumed that whoever the traitor was the person who applied to play in the Tomodachi game, which he was correct with that statement. So everybody goes in to their booths. With Tenji being first, of course, because Yuichi made his ass go in first, which one I think was a part of his plan, anyways.
Yeah, because he basically said, "Don't you want to show that you're Shiho's biggest supporter?" And he is like, in the moment he goes in, I can't. Well, never mind. That's a favorite scene, but regardless, I love that part.
Yeah, so yes, he goes in, and Tenji is just like, I'm fucked now. I'm basically just gonna cry and try to play it off, act it off, and act like somebody made me apply to the Tomodachi game. That's this man's plan. That's his plan of action, right? So he comes out. Makoto goes in, yada yada, and everybody tells their cards.
A big thing I'll say about this though that I loved, and this isn't a favorite scene of mine, but it's just got to be said. When Makoto goes in, he's smiling big as hell. Does. He has the biggest grin on. And if you remember last episode, I believe I said, I think because of how long they focus on Tenji being in that booth the last time, that they came with the plan outside anyway. This all, everything. So I was like, when that happened, I was like, they did it. They fucking set them up.
Yes. So, like he said, Makoto goes in. They don't show everybody else going in, but everybody else tells their card. Our boy Tenji, Manabu-kun Sensei is about to tally the votes, and Tenji's just like, all right, go ahead and give it to us. It should be 5 cards while you're playing with us. And my boy was like,
there's only one.
We only have one badmouth card. All the others are blank. And Tenji's like, yo, what the fuck? So it turns out, once again, our boy was setting them up. Our boy Yuichi was setting them up. And he, now at this point, Yuichi is in this man's face, has this man by the collar.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess you could just go straight to that because I was going to say the only thing I was going to say is that he starts the waterworks. It does not work.
It does not work. Our boy Yuichi has this man by the collar and tells this man to confess. You were the one who applied to play the Tomodachi game.
What he said specifically, he said, "I want to know why." Because he knew. Because he said, "I told you, Tenji, I had a way to make the confessor." The traitor confess himself, and I was like, God damn.
He got his ass. Damn. And then end scene right there, and it's just like, yo. Well, actually, last scene we get is the people in the
game masters,
monitor room,
as I've been calling them. Yeah,
yes, the game masters in the monitor room, if you will. She says, an old girl says, the senior, if you will. She was like, if you pay attention, Yuichi has set up 3 different traps to trap the traitor, and she also made a mention that we may have let a monster play the Tomodachi game.
And then that scene, and that's the end of the episode, and chills, quite honestly. Chills.
Yes, and so now it's 2 things I want to discuss because one, I'm confused. Before I get to my confusion, what do you think the 3 traps he placed was? I can point out 2 of them in my eyes, but I can't find the third.
All right, let me go to my mind palace. Let me take the Tomodachi Game episodes and let me line them up. First one, I think, was him talking to, what is her name? It says the Y. Yutori?
Yutori, yes.
Yutori?
That was the first one for me. That's the first one I had.
The second was when he went to submit his cards the first time, like when I was basically talking about last episode where he was in it, they made sure to show you how much time he was in that room. They specifically like
then he came out and he was slapping She-Hulk.
Yeah, so that was
the second chapter. Yes, that was number 2 for me. That's what I counted for number 2 as well. But I can't pinpoint number 3.
The third could possibly be what happened earlier in the episode with him lying about Shibe, because I think he did. I am pretty sure that the show is telling us Yuichi basically wrote that card, and I think he did that specifically to see if the Tomodachi Game has information on being able to prove a lie or not. Because I think he wanted. I think he wanted.
And you think he wanted to test that theory out?
Because I think it's important. I think what happened later was the whole reason was the because I think Yuichi probably had multiple ways to expose Tenji, but that was that was the one he wanted to do. So he's like, let me see if I actually can set this for this to be set up as I predicted.
And then if you want to say he went with the 4th trap, because then he was like, when he was coming up with his second plan, he was like, we don't have to, rely on people telling the truth or not, because one, if somebody didn't, write down, I applied to play the Tomodachi Game, we already know why you didn't write this down. You know what I mean? So that's the trade. But then 2, like he said, we talking about the person who applied to play the game. The game masters, they know that. They already know that. They have that evidence. They can prove that themselves.
Exactly.
So it's making sense.
So
now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the number 3 one is making total sense. Now, like I said, I couldn't pinpoint down number 3, which this is what I have discussions about this now, because I was totally lost for that third one. But that makes total fucking sense though.
Yeah, because when I was watching it, I was like, there's nothing in this show in my head that does not happen for a reason. Because the way they've been like I said, the way they've been doing it, they've been very like we're setting up for something, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, that happened. That was not that happened to test something. That had to have been there to test something. So
yeah, no, that's number 3. That completely number 3 completely went over my head, and I'm glad you called it because I didn't catch it. And that's why it's 2 of us.
Yes, that's 2. Yeah,
and that's why it's 2 of us. And damn, I'm glad you called that because that makes total fucking sense. But the second thing I wanted to talk about was basically when he was talking about his second plan and like how his plan was to leave the traitor behind in this game and everybody else move on to the next game, because had it gone the way he explained it to us and then how it actually went down, everybody was going to write down basically, I applied to the Tomodachi Game and they would have got that liar penalty.
Yeah. However,
that's not what they did, and they're not going to get that liar penalty. So how the hell is this game going to end now? Is She-Hulk going to go on to the game 3 by herself now?
So that's why that's what I'm interested to see, because one thing I think, one part of the game that I think of the overall Tomodachi Game that I don't think that they've said yet is legitimately to like try and keep like discover who the enemy is, because it seems like they don't just randomly abduct people. Obviously, someone applies to this for the sole purpose of what either A, expunging a debt, or B, fucking over their friend group. So I think maybe Yuichi might have solved a part of the bigger game, not necessarily this game, and that could lead them into something else. Because not to talk about like the opening too much, but I don't know if it was different. It was specifically different this episode, but they showed like a separate group in this opening. And I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know if I just. For this episode. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if I missed it in the previous ones, but in this one specifically, there was a secondary group that they showed. And I was like, oh, are we going to get, is there like something beyond the Tomodachi, like this version of the Tomodachi?
We already theorized that eventually we'll probably see other groups because we're Group C. So we know there's other people playing.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, like, maybe Yuichi's, by what Yuichi did, there's like he solved a bigger conundrum of the overall Tomodachi Game that will allow them to get out of whatever this section is and get into a different one where they might
head into the next one,
where they might be going up against groups or something like that.
So basically, like you're saying, it's like She-Hulk. They'll continue to play the game, but She-Hulk will be with a different group, and everybody else will be with
possibly
like
more. What I'm thinking of more is that like Yuichi solved the problem for his entire group. They got rid of the traitor, and they're then going to be placed in a different type of set of Tomodachi games that will let them all erase their debt in some way, shape, or form. It's just Tenji is now a traitor, and they're going to do with whatever they do with the traitor of the group. Right?
Yeah, because that's why I was confused at. I was like,
but I mean,
the original plan he was talking about, it made sense, but since it did not go the way down that he explained it, I'm like, well, how do we pass this game now? Like, I'm totally confused. How do we show me, Yuichi? How do we pass the game now? I'm stuck. I'm stumped. This has been like one of the first times after watching the episode where I'm fully stumped now.
Right.
I have no idea what's going to happen next.
I mean, like I said, what I just said is a theory, so I don't know if that's the case. That's like
correct.
To me, that's probably like the strongest thing because I don't know if they, like you said, how the She-Hulk is now is still gonna win at this rate because that was a true. Well, unless that wouldn't project him that far. So yeah, at this point, She-Hulk's gonna win by herself and get left with a whole bunch of debt, and that's it. But I don't think that's the case considering that
unless it could be that. Since he was the only one that suddenly got a bad mouth card, he might have enough steps to where he actually overpasses She-Hulk, and he be the one that reaches the goal first and therefore everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, possible. I didn't fully finish that sentence because I was like, as I was about to say it, I was like, could the audience give him enough points to move that many steps? Because I don't know how far behind her.
Behind he is. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I mean, that's so. There's two things that part and what I just said. But I'm interested to see because I think next episode is either probably gonna be like have two parts. One showing us Yuichi where Yuichi was making his plans at. Because like I said, the last two episodes technically were more from Tenji's perspective than his. Like they were for like the first couple. So I think we're probably gonna go back and the first half of like next episode is gonna be us seeing where Yuichi laid his traps. So to see if I'm right or like if there was other stuff, and then and then the later half is going to be the resolution of
the game
of this game of Badmouth Sugimori.
No, I agree. I agree. We have to get to the resolution of this game next episode because we've been on this rooftop for a hot minute.
Yeah, we too close to it right now. So I just think on this rooftop. I would either assume that it's going to be like the first half is going to be. His show going back and going over Yuichi's plans, and then the later half is a resolution of Badmouth Sugimori. Sugimichi. Is it Sugim? Sugoroku. I'm saying all the wrong names. Like I apologize. I am terrible with names. I'm so sorry.
I'm done. But yes, no. So yeah, like I said, I'm stumped. But we're gonna move on to our dislikes for this episode.
I ain't got one,
and I don't have one either. Not a single one. This episode was good from beginning to end. Like I said,
one thing I think that attribute to it, Ace has been talking about. This has been going on for a while, and I'm glad they did not show the rest of the Sugimori turns. No, Sugimichi. God damn it, we just Sugoroku. Turns because I would have been like, okay, guys, this what
what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
But they did, and I think they did a good job. So with that being said. We'll move on to our favorite scenes. So I just go ahead and say the way Tenji reacted when he got set up at the end. Oh my god, was I dying? He did the whole him he was just like I can't believe what just happened. Like
you talking about like when he went into the Badmouth box, right?
Yeah, when he was like, I'm panicking. I don't know what the fuck. He's got me. Like,
I'm screwed. I'm chalked.
His inner reactions though around that time were also really good. But that one, I just was like, oh, they got your ass, boy. Pack it up.
Pack it up. Pack it up. Oh shit! No, that was crazy because then like. It was the moment you finally got to see like Tenji knows like he's fucked. Like there's no getting out of this one. He was able to talk out his way out of the other bad situations he was getting put in. But at this point, it was like he knew he was like, yeah, I'm fucked on this one. Like there's nothing I can do. Oh man, he lost the battle between him and Yuichi. Is crazy. My favorite scene is the scene that happens right after that when they tally up the cards.
Oh,
and my boy Yuichi still such a Tenji ass and him his ass up and confess, motherfucker. Like
you basically took my second one, but it's cool.
like,
It's all right.
Man.
My favorite part about that though is the choice in how they presented it. With how he was like, I gotta start crying. He gets on his knees, full stop, just like tears fall down, and he looks up, and Yuichi doesn't even have a face. He has darkness exuding off him, and he just grabs him by his head, and he's just like, I'm gonna need you to explain to me what the fuck you doing, okay?
He wasn't playing, man. That man Yuichi is, I'm gonna say it now, is he passing Lelouch as one of the smartest MCs?
Passing Lelouch? Now, if you said smartest MCs, I would have gave it. Passing a man who planned a whole coup and gave a world peace? Get out. Get out. Get out. I can't see your door and your camera, but I'm assuming it's closed. Get the fuck out.
We're gonna start some controversy here today.
not with my MC. Hell no.
he said, not my MC, no sir.
No, sir.
My boy coming to loose defenders like how Maul motherfuckers be defending on Full Metal Alchemist on Maul.
Indeed.
Not my anime.
Not my anime. Hell no.
I'm trying to see. Hold on, before we get to, I'm trying to see if I have any more favorite scenes. I think really that was just my favorite scene. My boy Tenji, not Tenji. Well, I guess it was Tenji. Tenji getting handled by Yuichi. And just, it's not necessarily a favorite scene, but just like favorite aspect that happened throughout the game. Like I said, I'm complete. This is the first time where the episode is ended, and I'm completely stumped. I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen next episode at all.
I mean, yeah, it's up in the air. I'm assuming we're going to get Tenji explaining himself, but other than that, I'm not sure what else we could get. And
I mean, well, as far as resolution, like I have no idea how this is going to end.
Oh yeah,
we
got. I don't know how many episodes this is. I'm assuming 12, if not 24. But I am fully looking forward to what the hell else is coming from this shit. Because, goddamn.
Right.
With that said...
like you said, as he was saying, we're going to rate this episode now. Okay, I'll let you go first. What you got?
Oh, my God. Is this a 9? 8.5.
I was about to say it's at least an 8. we might be able to talk ourselves up to a 9, but it's at least an 8. I'm going to go ahead and say that now.
I recommend this fully to somebody right here, right now.
It's at least an 8. Like, there's no way this episode is not at least an 8.
Yeah, this was really good. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's not a 10.
No, it's not a 10.
9. Well, no, it could be a 9. That's why I was like 8.5. But it's really like subjective. But this is way above average, I think, in terms of just like quality, because it just pays off on everything it's set up. It does a great job animation wise. I don't even want to. I'm pretty sure the soundtrack was great too. I was just more there for the reactions of people being like, "Oh shit, he got me." But
because then even like, you know, like I keep saying this over and over, but like some of the best scenes in every episode is when they go to the monitor room and they have the game masters explaining what's going on as well. Mm-hmm. Even the game masters was like totally confused and shit. Well, like what the hell was going on?
Yeah,
in this episode,
the most observant one was like, "Wait, we gotta play this shit back because I just realized something." Yeah, this is
even caught her off guard. Like you said, the most observant one. Which even caught her off guard.
Yeah,
like you're saying. So not like a fucking 8. And then even if I could have just talked to myself up with a 9. Like you said, just because of that one aspect alone, you just mentioned how he caught that one specific game master off guard and stuff like that. But it's at least 8. Like this episode was good.
Exactly.
This episode was good.
Yeah. I had no complaints, and I'm just looking forward to the next one.
Yes, I am. Once again, we said this at the end of the last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. This is your public service announcement to go watch Tomodachi Game if you are not watching it,
And
because for
somehow
some
watching
reason
this.
I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about it. Like every now and then, I'm seeing people talking about it here and there, but like I don't think it's getting as much
Love as it
love
deserves.
and viewership as it gets. And part of that is because of Spy Family. And
Oh
regardless,
yeah,
Spy Family is fucking great, but Spy Family is definitely taking a lot of the shine for this season right now. And so, I,
yeah. It's a clip.
go watch Tomodachi
Spy
Game.
Family.
I can't say it enough.
While I love Spy Family, it is the creme de la creme this season. I cannot lie.
Yes,
It is definitely overshadowing this, and I want people to watch it. I don't want this to fall by the wayside. So if you,
we're not gonna let it fall.
most
by the
likely, if
wayside.
you're watching this, and especially like this part, you're watching it. Please recommend it to your friends so they can also enjoy the crazy shit that is going on in this anime.
But all right. Speaking of Spy Family, it's time for everybody's favorite anime for the spring season. Anju gets reincarnated as an assassin who's also a wife, also known as Spy Family. Episode 5. Will they pass or fail? So for this one, for the summary, I'm gonna hand the reins back to our friend McMillian and let him go through this one.
So the answer to the question of this episode is answered in like the first 10 to 15 minutes of the episode. Anya failed, but not really. She was put on a reserve list. I'm assuming due to the fact of what the hell happened last episode. Where basically they're like, if anybody pulls out, she will be the first person to get her spot.
Correct.
We then immediately go to the forgers sitting around their room, just waiting on the phone call. They get it. She got in. Celebration, good times. Cue the music.
Celebrate good time.
Oh, no, don't say it too much. We don't got copyright clearance. We are a small channel. I'm not about to get sued. So moving on from there, Frankie shows up almost immediately after the call, and he's like, "Time to celebrate." Gives your alcohol, which is probably one of the funniest things this
popping
episode.
Bottles and everything.
Popping bottles, and then immediately pressures Lloyd into having a party for Anya for her celebration, which leads into a whole mission that Lloyd recruits other spies for, because they end up renting out a castle in which Anya's favorite TV show took place in. That's like available for parties. Basically, like I said, other spies show up. They Lloyd's like, just listen to whatever Anya and Frankie have going on, and everything will be okay. They basically set up Lloyd to be the hero and Frankie to be the villain that has kidnapped Anya, and yours just playing whatever role she gets. And basically, Lloyd has to go through this castle, take out the other spies who are volunteering simply off of Lloyd's name as Twilight, by the way. And it's a good time. It's a good time all around. Yes. I don't know what else more I could say. And we end up on the episode after Lloyd goes through basically like a Mario level almost, where he has to shoot at the spies, dodge their attacks, and then end up saving Anya, the princess. Right before that happens, though, he has to fight Yor, a very drunk Yor, who I guess thinks she's on a mission as well, and almost ends up killing Lloyd. But luckily, one of her heels breaks. Her heel breaks, and then she falls on the floor and passes out. And that is the end, basically, of our little party for Anya.
And so, I just want to say, most of our discussions for Spy Family, because it's just, a slice of life, if you will, just
slice of life comedy
/ comedy. Most of our discussion will come from our favorite scenes and stuff like that. But once again, this was another good ass episode from Spy Family. Like you mentioned last week, I know I'm gonna have a good time when I sit down and I click that play button on Spy Family. Like, it's gonna be a good time.
What I'm
getting.
No
questions asked.
You know what you're getting. And this episode, while I knew it was gonna be, I did not know it was gonna be as hilarious as this. Like Lloyd having to go and grab a pit, like knocking out people with foam balls and grabbing the pistol. That was While that's not in my favorite scenes, just because there's other
Yeah,
stuff that made me laugh out loud harder, that was such a very well animated thing. Like I was like, oh, this could have been a regular gunfight, and would be just as entertained.
yeah.
Honestly, like it was great.
Yeah, and then one cool thing that I did like about this episode though was that we got more interaction from his spy agency
Agency,
this episode,
like
which I
yeah,
thought was cool.
like it's good. What like one thing, even though like you said, it's a slice of like comedy. It still has like a kind of story. So like we get to see how big the name Twilight is within Lloyd's agency to the point
Agency, yeah,
where other spies, well, people will approve something for him just off his namesake.
oh, just off his
People
name.
people will show up because they admire him so much. They're willing. Like I'm pretty sure halfway through the mission, these spies were like, "Oh, we're just here to help a little girl celebrate a party." I don't know if this is like life or
And they
death,
didn't even care.
but they didn't even care, and I'm pretty sure they had fun with it based
Yeah.
on how it ended. So
And then, like, just to end off the episode, they show old girl who's basically approving a lot of stuff for Lloyd today, or slash tonight, rather,
mhm.
in the episode. She gets back the bill, if you will, for all the expenses. She hands it to the boss. He's just like, are these numbers real?
Real?
He's like, she's like, yeah, like,
She's,
I don't know what to tell you. Like,
she's like, she just nods her head, lip.
they real. Yeah, that part right there was hilarious as well. And I was just like, you know what? Because certain, if it would have been any other show, they wouldn't have shown that specific scene right
Yeah,
there.
no,
But
not at
because it's
all.
SpyXFamily, they showed you that yes, we are an agency, but this shit costs money. My God, like,
We are we may be in anime, but we are not strangers to the to how
the
much.
struggle.
Yeah, exactly. Just money in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. But like I said, to get to our deeper conversations, we're gonna go through our dislikes real quick. Once me personally, this should be no surprise. I don't have any dislikes with this episode. Um, do you? I mean, I don't know if you do or
The
not.
one thing, and this is not really a dislike. The one thing I guess I could say about this is at the end, I just wanted to see Lloyd bust out some more moves against Yor, but understandably, that's his wife.
Okay,
And,
I would give you that.
and two,
Yeah.
and two, she was drunk. So I mean, it caught him by surprise. Really, I would have, but I would like to see. I mean, I'm pretty sure eventually within this anime, we'll get a comedy version of Mister and Mrs. Smith, where
Mm.
their missions will collide, probably,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
and either they'll
100%.
end up fighting or they'll just end up missing each other by like a hair,
100%.
like a hair or a millisecond or some shit,
Yeah.
So
No, I won't call that necessarily a dislike, but it definitely was a letdown. I will say that because I was, hoping that they was going to get the boxing for a little hot second, but no. But I mean, but it's okay though. Like you said, she was drunk and stuff like that, and it is his wife, so it's understandable.
yeah.
But like I said, it was a small little letdown. But I give you that one. I will give you that
Yeah,
one.
I won't say it's a dislike. It doesn't really take anything away from the episode, but
Yeah, no,
it
not at
was
all.
something that was like, oh shit.
It was just really just something you really wanted to see actually happen.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'll give you that. And all right, so we're gonna move on to our favorite scenes now. And so before I get like to specific scenes, one of the like I guess the best thing I thought about this episode was like how you already mentioned it, but like how most of the spies came just because it was just off of Twilight's name
off of
alone.
Twilight's name.
Like even though, and I thought this was hilarious, even though like old girl who was approving everything for him, even though it was like she set it up, she was like, this is an important mission for Operation Strict. She even, I guess, raised it to the highest level ever. She said this shit was a triple SS mission. Not triple SS, double SS mission. And I was like, yo, not the double S. Like, god damn.
I was like,
so even off of that alone, it was gonna get people to come. But even probably if it wasn't, a double SS mission, motherfucker still was gonna show up just because off alone it was fucking Twilight. Like even when Twilight first came to the podium and everybody was walking, and he was there. Everybody was just like, "Oh shit, I can't believe it! It's actually fucking, it's actually him! Like it's fucking Twilight." He was like, "I can't wait." And then when Franklin was explaining what was going on, then you saw some of the spies. It was like, "Oh yes, I've been waiting all my life for this moment right now. We get to go up against Twilight. Like what? Mm-hmm. Like then it was even more later on in the show. That it was like, I don't even care why we're here. We get to go up against Twilight. He was like, I don't know what's going on, but I don't care. Like, I'm pretty sure it has some significance to do with the mission if Twilight needs us to be here, and stuff like that. So I just thought that was a good like you said, we got to see the other side and how important he actually is to his agency and shit like that. I thought that was a really nice touch for this episode.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I did like that like running joke. That was really cool. My first favorite scene, you're contemplating murder to get Anya into school. That shit had me rolling. Cause she just was like, the moment she was like, oh no, what if she fails? And she instantly just like in her mind's eye, I'm going to kill a senator. I'm going to murder the fuck out of this child, out of some random kid's dad. And then she
just to get Anya into school.
Just to get her into school, and then she is like, no, I can't kill an innocent. I can't do it. I won't.
I'm done. Well, my favorite scene, so you already brought up Yor, I'm gonna go to the next one. When Yor was drunk fighting Lloyd, obviously this had to be a favorite scene. But my thing is, it has already been discovered that Yor was trained by the Hyuga clan, but apparently she also trained with Lee in the ways of the
You know what? I forgot. I won't say I forgot I made that reference, but I did not think we were going to do Naruto things for her specifically. But yes, that girl. Well, she wasn't even fighting. Like the thing was, she wasn't swaying her or anything. But the fact that she was able to be as accurate as she was while drunk, I cannot wait for. I'm pretty sure. We've gotten an episode where we get to see what Lloyd does on a mission. Like, technically, when he would like when Anya first got kidnapped, we've seen him in spy mode. I can't wait till we get like a full episode of Yor in like assassin mode, like getting to actually see it. Because even like when they introduced her, we didn't get to see a lot the actual like actions that she had to take. So I can't wait till we get like an episode of that, because I just feel like it's gonna be real nice, like just off of what they showed with them fighting. Like, well, yes, with her beating his ass, I should say, because they did not fight. That was not a fight.
Yeah. So I've been making the joke that Anya got reincarnated. Apparently, she got reincarnated from Naruto. Goddamn it, she was in Naruto in her past life.
She was like, "Look, the voice actor was, look, I pilot mechs and I beat niggas' asses. Who stepped into me?"
Oh man. Any more from you, sir?
After that, honestly, you mentioning that one, the only thing I could add to that, when she passed out drunk, was hilarious. It's just an extension. That's not like a full scene, but when she just like popped her ass down and was like, just knocked out, great. But my favorite scene, my last one, the spies at the end celebrating Anya. I don't know if it did not seem like that was something that they said that was going to be a part of a mission, but the fact they were just like, they went along with it anyway, I just thought was so cool. And it was good to just see, like, it meant a lot to her to have all like this stuff there and stuff. It was just nice. It was sad. Hey, call me a sap, whatever. Anya is like the anime community's daughter, and when she smiles, I feel good. So
I feel you. Yeah, like, then like right after that scene, they had that. Her and Lloyd had that moment where they was like by the fountain under the starlight skies and stuff like that.
Looking at the fireworks.
I agree. It was
also what's funny about that scene specifically, when you see all the helicopters and boats and shit leaving. Like, goddamn, like where the fuck did these people have to leave to get here?
Yeah, no, I feel you 100%. I did enjoy that scene as well. That was one of my favorite scenes too, so I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. But my last favorite scene, since you brought that one up, was when you brought it up already. You said it wasn't one of your favorite scenes, but it was one of mine. When our boy Lloyd was going through the stairwell, shooting back at all the other spies with the little play guns and stuff like that. That was hilarious, and it was funny. It was also a nice little action moment, because I think this was the first time we actually got to see Lloyd use his, not necessarily his gun, but a gun.
Yeah, because because in the first episode he just threatened somebody with a gun. He didn't really use it. But yeah, no, I like I said, it was nice to see his gunplay in that scene. It just, when I think of favorite scenes, I think from this show specifically, I guess it's more of like the standout stuff. And while that was like a good moment, it just didn't. I don't know if it stuck to me as much, but it was good though. It was definitely good. All right. With that said, ratings. This episode is like an 8 for me. 8 or a 7.
I was about to say once again another 8.
Yeah. SpyXFamily in my mind, I don't know right now. I don't seem like they can do wrong. I really want to see, like, is there? Because I don't. Did we give the first episode a 7? I don't even remember.
I can't remember what we gave for the first episode. But we probably gave it like a 7, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if we gave it a 7. If it was an 8, if their lowest is an 8, this is unfair for every other series ever. Like, my favorite comedy series is Konosuba because I die laughing every time I watch it. This is slowly like getting right under there because I think all of the things it combines really it does really well. The action parts, the wholesome slice of life moments I agree. Feel good. And the comedy, like I said, they stick the landing on their comedy. I laugh. I don't like. It's not like a heavy exhale. I am I physically laughing. So
you know what? Like I said, my rating is 8, but I want to go on a little spiel real quick right here. So it is obvious that right now, SpyXFamily is the premier anime of the spring season, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a lot of hate going around for this anime, and I have no reason why. I do. Oh, no. Let me take it back. I do know why, and I will say this: just because something is popular, guys, we do not have to hate on stuff that is popular. Everything that is popular does not mean it is overrated. And stuff becomes popular for a reason.
Yeah, usually. And I won't even say that. Like, I don't like everything that's popular. Sometimes it's not great. But the thing is, I'm not over here trash talking. Like, when people talk about their favorite artist, or like when an artist blows up, and even if I don't personally like that artist for whatever reason, I'll just say, you know what, they're not for me, and I don't necessarily know why they're so big. But if you guys like it, I love it. I like the right?
Yeah. But it's people it's just literally out here like just trash talking anime. I'm just like,
it's hit that what is it? There's I don't know if it's an actual scale or something, but I've heard someone talk about where basically like it's hit that upward momentum where it's so popular now that people have to hate on it. Basically, it's like Demon Slayer. Like I fully acknowledge that Demon Slayer is not the best thing out, but it's good. It's good, and its animation is so like its animation is so good that people are going to talk about like how good it is, and the stories and the story, while it might not be like anything special, it does what it does very well. So I can understand why it's popular. Shonen is one of the most easy genres to get into. And so a popular shonen is going to explode. It's crazy that SpyXFamily honestly has exploded as much as it is, because comedies normally don't get this much recognition. I mean, granted, it is a shonen series, but it's still it's a comedy in itself, and comedies aren't normally talked about like that.
I think it's because everything that SpyXFamily does, they do it so damn well. And like you said, it's not necessarily a shonen, but it still provides those small action moments here and there. But that's not what the show is about. It's literally about this family coming together and seeing how they can work together, because one's a fucking assassin, the other one's a spy, and this third little child is a fucking psychic. So I mean, like they and it doesn't hurt the fact that it's animated so damn well as on top of that. So I mean, plus the animation, the soundtrack is good, and the story is actually pretty damn decent for for what it fucking is. Like,
like if someone had
what more do you fucking want? Like, I don't.
But see, here's my thing. Like, the only thing I could see someone actually saying bad about the story of SpyXFamily is, actually saying bad about the show, I guess, would be maybe its core story isn't that interesting.
But everything doesn't have to be deep and philosophical.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not even just. Well, I wasn't even just saying that. Look at the genre. It's a comedy. It doesn't because technically you would be like, okay, if Twilight's this great spy, should he not have realized Yor's an assassin by now? You're correct. Yeah. If this was a serious show, that would be a very good critique. But in a comedy, that's not that.
That's not this. That's not this, and this is not that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just. I don't know. Like, I just wish people, like, if you have valid critiques for a popular show, that's one thing. But just sitting and bashing on a show because it's popular, that's another thing. Like, I can't get jiggy with that.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, for instance, I can understand even being upset with a fan base. Like, Demon Slayer, like, for instance, I'll bring it back to Demon Slayer just simply because of, like, how recent it is. Some of the Demon Slayer fans, as a person who likes the manga and the anime, are annoying. And they will talk about that shit like it is the second coming of Jesus. And I know it's not. And I get it. It's annoying. But at the end of the day, just tell them, hey, man, calm it down. I get it. It's your favorite. But don't be out here shitting on other people because it's not their favorite. Same thing with this. Like, if you see someone being obnoxious about it, tell them to calm down. But I wouldn't say like hate on the show itself. The show's
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Like the show is good. Like I said, if you got valid criticisms about the show, of course, we here at the Gurren Otaku Council, we accept valid criticisms, even for our favorite show. Like my favorite show is One Piece. I'll be the first to tell you, yes, One Piece is not perfect, but I'm not just going to sit here and let you slander this shit, especially when you ain't never watched it. That's not going to go down. But I can sit here and give valid criticisms of One Piece. It's my favorite show. Of course, I know what the fucking valid criticisms of this damn show is, but I'm not just going to sit here and let you slander this shit for no goddamn reason, especially if you've never even watched it. How the fuck you know what the valid criticisms is of something you ain't even ever goddamn watch? I'm not going to go through this with you.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. But all that being said, I hope that little rant was at least entertaining and that you kind of sympathize. And if there are things maybe you think like we're hyping it up too much, let us know your valid critiques. I would love to hear like some people saying like if you felt like the episodes of Spy Family have not been hitting, I would love to hear why. Because maybe I got my blinders on and maybe I'm not seeing something. But
like I said, we are here for valid critiques, but just blind slander we will not tolerate.
Yeah.
But if you got you have valid criticism, we'll sit here and we'll listen. We'll look at your point of view, but we're not just finna sit here and listen to blind slander. That's not finna how this is gonna. No, that's not how this is gonna go down.
Yeah. With that said,
but with that being said, I'm sorry. With that being said, McMillian, if there is nothing else to say, thank you for going on with my little rant with me.
Hey,
but
no
there is nothing else to say, then my God, you can go ahead and take us on out of here.
All right. Like always, guys, I appreciate you for coming out and watching us as well as listening. If you are watching, please do go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Spread our it helps us grow. And it'll help other people hopefully find our crazy asses on the internet. For my audio only listeners, same thing. Consider giving the show a follow. Consider giving us a review. It helps us grow. As always, guys, I appreciate you for coming out and watching. If you want to stay up to date with us, go ahead and follow us on our social medias. At Gurren Otakus is us on Twitter, and at Gurren Otaku Council is us on Instagram. With all that said, meeting adjourned. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Peace.
Peace, everybody.